Are you getting mixed signals from a woman that are driving you absolutely nuts? One minute she's warm, engaged, laughing at your jokes. The next, she's distant, guarded, almost scared. You feel like there's something deeper there. You see these flashes of connection, these moments where it feels like she really likes you, maybe even more than she lets on. But then she pulls back, and you're left wondering, is it me? Did I do something? Or is something else entirely going on with her? What if I told you those confusing signals, that push and pull that leaves you second-guessing, could actually be proof she's already emotionally attached, but is terrified to show it? In this video, I'm breaking down 5 critical, often missed signs that she's secretly attached, and why her fear might be the biggest clue of all. Stick with me, because understanding these will change how you see her behavior forever and give you the clarity you've been craving. Now, before we dive into these 5 powerful signs, it's absolutely crucial to understand why a woman who's developing genuine feelings might act scared, distant, or send those confusing, mixed signals. This isn't about making excuses for flaky behavior, but it is about understanding the complex human psychology that can be at play, especially when deep emotions are involved. So, why the fear? 3 common reasons. First, fear of vulnerability. Genuine attachment, truly connecting with someone, means opening yourself up. It means being vulnerable. And vulnerability for many people is terrifying. If she's been hurt in the past, or if she just naturally guards her heart closely, letting those walls down, even for someone she really likes, can feel like a monumental risk. Ironically, the stronger her budding feelings, the more intense this fear can become. Second, past experiences and wounds. Bad past relationships, betrayals, or even difficult childhood experiences can leave deep emotional scars. She might be unconsciously projecting old fears onto you, even if you're a fantastic guy. She's hyper-aware of any potential red flags, sometimes seeing them where they don't even exist, because her subconscious is trying to protect her from getting hurt again. And third, fear of ruining things or self-sabotage. Sometimes when feelings get really strong, really fast, people get scared they'll mess it up. She might overthink every text, every interaction. She might pull back because she's afraid of saying or doing the wrong thing, or appearing too keen or too much, too soon. It's a form of self-sabotage born out of intense but scary feelings. Understanding this fear factor is absolutely key, because many of the signs we're about to discuss are her genuine attachment, her genuine interest, leaking through the cracks in these walls of fear. Ready to decode them? Let's get into sign number 1. Sign number 1 is what I call the vulnerability leak. This is a powerful one. It's when, often unexpectedly, and sometimes even out of character for her, she shares something deeply personal with you. This could be a past hurt, a current struggle, a secret fear, or a cherished dream. Things she clearly wouldn't just tell anyone. Think about it. Maybe you're having a lighthearted conversation. Everything's fun and easy, and then suddenly the tone shifts. She opens up about a difficult family situation, a past relationship that really impacted her, or an insecurity she battles. It might even seem to surprise her that she shared it with you. Why does this indicate attachment plus fear? Well, sharing something deeply personal is a huge indicator of budding trust and developing emotional attachment. She feels safe enough in that moment, or the connection between you is strong enough for that carefully constructed guard to momentarily drop. The fear element often comes in immediately after the leak. She might quickly change the subject, seem embarrassed, look away, or even pull back a bit in your interactions over the next few days. Why? Because she feels overexposed, vulnerable, and that fear kicks back in, making her question if she shared too much, too soon. It's like a pressure cooker. The feelings of connection and trust build up, and a little steam has to escape. That steam is her vulnerability. If she shares it with you, pay attention. It's significant. Sign number 2. Inconsistent but intense eye contact, often with lingering gazes that quickly break. This is all about the eyes. She'll lock eyes with you in a way that feels incredibly deep, incredibly connected. Maybe she holds it a fraction of a second longer than what's normal for a casual conversation. And then just as quickly, she'll look away, perhaps seeming flustered, shy, or suddenly very interested in her shoelaces. You might catch her looking at you from across the room with a soft, almost yearning expression. But the moment you meet her gaze, boom, she blushes, looks down, or abruptly gets busy with something else. Or during a conversation, you'll feel that intense connection through her eyes, then she'll break it, only for it to happen again a few moments later. Why attachment plus fear? The eyes are often called the windows to the soul for a reason. That intense, lingering eye contact is her subconscious connection, her genuine interest shining through. It's a powerful, non-verbal sign of attachment. The quick aversion, the looking away, that's her fear kicking in. Fear of being found out. Fear of the intensity of her own feelings. Fear of appearing too forward, or simply shyness triggered by the strong emotion. It's a classic push-pull, but it's happening right there in her gaze. She wants to connect, but she's scared of what that connection means, or where it might lead. Sign number 3 is when she shows subtle but consistent protective or caring actions, often disguised as casual, no-big-deal gestures. These aren't grand, over-the-top displays. They're small, thoughtful things that show she's paying attention to your well-being. For example, she remembers you mentioned you were stressed about a deadline and just happens to bring you your favorite coffee or a snack. Or if you're in a group setting and someone dismisses your idea, she subtly defends you, validates your point, or steers the conversation back to give you space. She might offer practical help with something small like proofreading an email, and then brush it off like, oh, it was nothing. Why attachment plus fear here? These are nurturing instincts and signs of genuine care and emotional investment kicking in. She wants to look out for you. She wants to make your life a little better. This is attachment in action. The fear or hesitation comes in how she downplays these actions. She doesn't want to seem too interested, too invested, or heaven forbid, motherly. So she'll make it seem like a small, insignificant, casual thing. But trust me, those small things are rarely accidental when they're consistent. It's her way of showing she cares deeply without having to say the words she might be too scared to voice. Sign number 4 is a fascinating one. She starts using we accidentally when talking about future possibilities, or drops subtle hints about things you could do together, even if it's framed very vaguely or hypothetically. Listen carefully in your conversations. She might be talking about a concert coming up, a new movie, or a place she wants to visit, and say something like, oh, we should totally check that out sometime. I mean, you should, or, whoever. And then quickly correct herself, maybe blush, or change the subject. Or she'll mention an event months away and say something like, if you're, still around then, with a hopeful but clearly hesitant, almost self-deprecating tone. Why attachment plus fear? Her mind is already, on some level, picturing a future that includes you. That's a clear sign of developing attachment. She's mentally pairing the two of you. The accidental nature of the we, the quick correction, or the hesitant delivery of future hints. That's her fear. Fear of presumption, fear of getting ahead of herself, fear of scaring you off by seeming too serious too soon, or fear of her own hopes being dashed. It's her subconscious leaking her desires, quickly followed by her conscious mind trying to reel it back in out of fear or caution. And sign number 5, which can be a bit tricky but very telling. Subtle signs of jealousy or a noticeable increase in her attention towards you when other potential romantic interests, especially other women, are around or mentioned. Now, let me be clear. I'm not talking about overt, dramatic, controlling jealousy. That's a red flag. I'm talking about subtle shifts. For example, if you casually mention a female friend or a new female colleague, does her demeanor change slightly? Does she ask a few too many casual questions about this person? Does she seem a little less bubbly for a moment? Or if another woman is showing you attention in a group setting, does she suddenly become more engaging with you? Does she try to pull your focus back to her? Maybe subtly position herself closer or even lightly touch your arm? Why attachment plus fear? Jealousy, in these small, subtle doses, can be a strong indicator of emotional investment and a subconscious fear of losing someone you're becoming attached to. She values your attention and doesn't want to lose it to someone else. She might not even be fully aware she's doing it. The fear here is the fear of competition, the fear of being replaced, or the fear of losing your attention and affection. Because she's scared to show her attachment openly, her reaction will likely be indirect and subtle rather than confrontational. It's a protective pique, a slight show of possessiveness that reveals her hidden feelings. Again, the key here is subtlety. If it's overt and causes drama, that's a different issue. Okay, so you're recognizing some, maybe even all of these signs. She's leaking vulnerability. Her eyes tell a story. She's subtly caring. She's accidentally using we. And there's a hint of protective pique. This is powerful information, but what you do next is absolutely critical. How you respond can either help her feel safer to gradually lower those walls and let her attachment show more openly, or it can unfortunately scare her further into her shell. So, here are some crucial don'ts. First, don't call her out directly on being attached or scared. Saying something like, "Hey, I notice you get nervous when you share personal stuff. You must really like me, huh?" Or, "You seem scared to admit your feelings." That's going to backfire. It will likely make her feel exposed, embarrassed, and retreat even further. Second, don't pressure her for commitment, a label, or to define the relationship. If she's already scared, any kind of pressure is like pouring fuel on that fire. It will make her feel trapped, not cherished. And third, don't become inconsistent yourself or start playing games to test her further. If she's struggling with her own consistency due to fear, adding your own inconsistency to the mix just creates more chaos and anxiety for her. Now, for the more important part, the DOs. First and foremost, do create a safe, consistent, and reassuring environment. Be a steady, reliable presence in her life. Your calm, predictable consistency is the most powerful antidote to her fear. Let her see, through your actions, that you're trustworthy and not going to bolt at the first sign of her vulnerability. Second, do subtly reciprocate warmth and vulnerability when she offers it first. If she shares something personal, listen actively, validate her feelings, and maybe share something of similar, but not overwhelming, depth in return, when it feels natural and appropriate. This shows her it's a two-way street, and that vulnerability is welcomed, not judged. Third, do continue to gently lead and invite her on low-pressure, fun dates or hangouts. Show her through your continued positive action that you're interested in spending time with her and that it's safe and enjoyable to connect with you. Keep it light, keep it fun, and finally, do focus on building a foundation of fun, positive experiences together. Let the attachment and connection grow organically through shared laughter, good conversation, and enjoyable activities. The more positive memories you build, the more her brain will associate you with safety and happiness, gradually overriding the fear. Look, if a woman is genuinely developing strong feelings for you, but is also battling fear and past anxieties, it often requires a bit more patience, understanding, and emotional intelligence on your part. This isn't about fixing her, and it's certainly not about waiting around forever for someone who isn't meeting your needs. But it is about recognizing that sometimes good people come with complex histories, and creating an environment where she feels safe enough for her true feelings to consistently surface can take a little time. The payoff for this kind of patient, secure, and understanding approach isn't just getting the girl. It's potentially building a much deeper, more resilient, and incredibly meaningful connection. A woman who overcomes her fear to be with you, often because you were the one who consistently made her feel safe and cherished enough to do so, will likely be incredibly loyal, deeply invested, and profoundly grateful for that security you provided. And always remember, her fear, her hesitation, is very rarely a reflection of your worth or something you've done wrong. More often than not, it's a reflection of her past experiences, her own internal landscape, and the battles she's fighting within herself. Your role is to be the calm, steady lighthouse in her storm, not another wave. All right, let's quickly recap those 5 hidden signs that she's secretly attached but potentially too scared to show it fully. First, the vulnerability leak, sharing deeply personal things. Second, inconsistent, intense eye contact, that look then look away. Third, subtle protective and caring actions, those just because gestures. Fourth, the accidental we and future hints, her subconscious planning. And fifth, subtle jealousy or increased attention when others are around. Now, I absolutely have to know from you, which of these 5 signs have you personally witnessed in your dating life? Or perhaps there's another subtle sign you've picked up on that just screams, attached but scared? Drop your experiences, your stories, your insights in the comments section below. Let's build a massive knowledge base for everyone in this community because your input is invaluable. If this video shed some light on a confusing situation for you, gave you a bit of clarity, or, a friend, a brother, anyone who's scratching their head trying to figure out mixed signals, do them a massive solid and share this video with them right now. It could genuinely save them a lot of frustration and heartache. And finally, if you want more deep dives into dating psychology, understanding attraction, what makes relationships truly work, and how to build incredible confidence, make sure you smash that subscribe button and, crucially, hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on the next video packed with value. Thank you so much for watching. Go out there with this new understanding. Be patient, be perceptive, and I'll see you in the next one.